I'm Stephen Inglis and I work for the RSPB on the Clyde Valley Wader Initiative project. Farmers can do a variety of things to improve the breeding habitat for waders on their farms. So quite a few of the wader species need different types of swards, and better to have a kind of mixed sward with some denser patches and some more open patches to provide the habitat for the widest range of species possible, to kind of provide suitable conditions for them all through the breeding season. So that can be for them feeding, for them nesting. So to improve the sward structure, that can quite often mean kind of rush control. So through topping, to open up the swards, and best of all, if it can be followed up with some appropriate aftermath grazing. Now that maybe doesn't need to be done year on year, but trying to create nice patches and a bit of a diversity in the sward is really good. Quite a lot of waders need wet patches to get access into ground invertebrates and earthworms. So one thing they can do is put in what we call a wader scrape, and really that's just creating a little kind of wet area, replicating the sort of wet features in the landscape that would have been there before. A wader scrape is really just a shallow depression that's created usually with a digger or an excavator to a depth of about 40-50 centimetres, and just to try and hold a little bit of water and have a bit of a muddy edge to allow the adult waders to take their chicks once they hatch, and then they can probe into the soft mud for any of the invertebrates that are likely to be there. They usually dry out in the summer because they don't hold a massive amount of water, but that's okay, and it's actually beneficial if they do, because it prevents them from becoming ponds, which are less ideal. We have put in 40 wader scrapes over the past winter and topped 200 hectares of dense rush and dense millennia on some of the rougher moorland grazings. In the past year, we've had NatureScope funding from the Biodiversity Challenge Fund to allow us to do a couple of extra activities to try and improve the foraging conditions for the adult waders. Now that's trying to improve earthworm abundances, because that's one of the main prey items of the adult waders that allows them to get into good breeding condition. We've undertaken some soil analysis with SAC to identify soils which have a low pH, which is generally not very good for earthworms. They don't like it if it's too acidic. So we're doing a small scale trial of some liming to increase the pH and hopefully increase earthworm abundances. We're also doing a little bit of soil decompaction, focusing that on soils which have become compacted over time, which will probably have reduced the abundance of earthworms and the access for the waders. Through working together on a large-scale project like this, we've been able to increase the habitat and the connectivity of the habitat, so that we've got a really big area with lots of suitable patches on neighbouring farms, which allows the waders the chance to move between farms and take advantage of the best conditions for them to nest and to breed in, and it gives you the greatest variety of suitable conditions for them. Working towards that larger scale should really help them take advantage of the habitat work that we're doing.